Germans. Welcome back, dude.
Welcome back.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys. Anyway, yeah. Speak to you guys.
We know you're out there.
Sure. We know you're out there. But some of you are kids in their papers. Cool. Awesome.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us.
How are we all? We're well. How's your week been?
We're busy.
We're busy.
We're always busy. We're doing the thing. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Actually, and this is probably a really good time because we haven't done this for a while. Today we're going to talk about injuries.
Yeah.
And not so much getting the injuries, because we're all good at getting injuries. You don't need any advice on how to get more injuries.
No.
Or we don't need like the war stories on
Yes.
injuries that we've suffered.
Correct.
But the getting out of the injury state.
Very difficult.
And the recovering and the mindset required, and not kind of wallowing in your own state
Sorrow.
of self-pity.
Yeah. Which is really hard.
It is really hard.
Yeah.
It is really hard.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna go into that today. But I thought, just before we do, because you're coming out of an injury,
Sure.
I thought maybe let's give a bit of an update on how the training's going, how your body's feeling.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah. No,
questions without notice.
No, we're all good. Look, it's a weird one because, being blatantly honest, I am not actually training like I thought I'd be training right now.
Yes.
When we last checked in on this, I was sort of like 2-3 times a week for gym,
Yep.
stretching, doing all that stuff. Gymming has gone right down to once a week for me, and I've just been doing an absolute buttload of walking.
Yeah.
And so the funny thing is
also-
like the food's been on point.
But kind of the walking's
Working
for
it's
you.
kind of working for me. And so it's kind of, look, it's not jiu-jitsu specific, so I'm not, I'm not going to be comp ready anytime soon, and that's okay right now.
Yep.
Because to be honest, my focus has shifted from the comp stuff. I'm still going to compete this year, but it's going to be later half of the year.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, there's been enough other things going on that I've needed to sort of give my attention to. So I've made choices with those things, but have been super dialed in on my food.
Yep.
Which as noticed is like helping a lot.
Yeah. And if you're not watching this, like if you are watching, you will notice the contours.
Go back a few episodes, you can see some things. Look, it's not. It's one of those things. It hasn't been. So I'm down to 85 and a half, which is pretty cool. So I think when we sort of checked in last, I was around the 89, give or take. And so just making sure my food has been on point, that I'm still like active, and I have an active job. I teach here. I'm doing stuff every day, but I'm easily getting in any minimums 10,000 steps a day, which is not a huge amount for what I do, but I'm clocking probably 20 most days. 15 to be a normal day, 1,000 steps, and then I've been playing a lot of golf as well, which has been great fun. So, and that's been
hence the extra walking.
Hence a lot of extra walking. But that's been a really cool thing, which has been sort of mentally. Giving me a lot of mental reprieve, which has been cool because it's something fun, it's something different, it's new, it's shiny, it's exciting, and then but that's also then like there's a decent amount of like knee stability and leg stuff in that, which I've been really interested in. So there's been that sort of stuff which has been really cool. But the main thing's really been the keeping the food in check.
Yes.
Making sure all the things we've talked about before, protein's high. For me and what I'm doing, because my output is not. With the gym stuff is a lot lower, but then the exercise and the calorie burn is different exercises, so it's been still high.
Yes.
So the burn is good. So I'm probably at about, I would say I'm about a 300 deficit a day. Is probably where I'm at. So it's not a dramatic deficit, but the results are showing. I can see on the scale, like when I'm doing the things, I know. Like last night, this is a good example. This is a good example if you've listened to our food episode. This is a good example of like knowing what you're eating and knowing what's happening. Everything is normal. Doing my food stuff. I tend to focus on carbs earlier in the day around what I'm doing. And I'm eating a lot of sort of salads and proteins with that, or veggie and protein and stuff. And the evenings is the same. Reduced amount of carbs. So I try not to have more than 100 grams of rice with my dinner. But if I want rice, I'll still have 100 grams of rice plus then my protein and my veggies and whatever. After dinner last night, I opened the cupboard. I was done. I was all good. But we have my little, we've talked about before, I have my little like yogurt ice cream snacks, which are great. It has 70 calories on it. Absolute win. And it ticks that box and I feel good. And I'm like, yep, treaty thing, but all good, all within the calories. And then I opened a cupboard and I was like, accidentally bought, I got some what I thought was wholemeal like wrappy things.
Yeah.
And I was going to eat those as like a carb replacement instead of rice just to change it up a bit. Completely forgot they're in the cupboard and they were going to go. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, I really wanted that when I bought them. And so last night afterwards, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna eat one with a bit of peanut butter and a bit of honey on it as like a snack situation. It's probably easily a 300 cal snack. Like it's a flatbread. I thought I grabbed the whole milk, grabbed the white ones. Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. But you know, if I ate a whole bag of them, it'd be 1,000 plus calories in like a second.
Yes.
So it would be bad if I had done that. But it's interesting because every day weighing myself, doing the things, eating the right foods, I've been watching the scale do that sort of, we do that dance. Yeah. I'm down 300 in the morning. Then by the time I get to the evening, I've been checking and just out of interest.
Yes.
And then I'm like, oh, cool. I'm up to come back and I go to bed and I'll be 86.2. And I'm like, cool. I know in the morning, I'm going to be at that 85.8, 85.9, something like that. So every day I'm about 100 grams down is sort of been the sort of loss. And the tracking, some days it's bigger because I've had a big, like say golf day and I'm a bit dehydrated and I'm down a kilo and I'm like, well, that's just water.
That's it.
And so I know that that's not real weight loss and then I eat and it goes back up. And so we understand the scale, we understand how that's working. But it was interesting because this morning I was like, okay, I had that wrap, which is a bit more calories in it that I would normally have. And I'm probably, I haven't done that in a while or especially in the evening. And so I knew this morning, I was like, I wonder what that's going to look like.
Yes.
And it translated to an extra 200 grams on the scale this morning. So this morning I was actually 86.1. And I was like, cool, that's the wrap.
And because you know.
Because overnight, I've eaten, no, that's not, you don't get fat overnight, that's not the thing.
No.
But there's extra carb I wouldn't have normally eaten at that time. There's extra sugar, and there's extra things that translates into water in the body and salt and all these other things.
That's it.
And I was like, oh, cool. Immediately, I'm like, oh, that's the snack I ate.
Yeah.
Which is like fine. Like I'm not stressed because I knew that today I'm active and I had gym this morning and I had all these other things that I'm doing and it's not a big deal. But it's funny with that sort of stuff is like it's once you like in that episode of When You Know You Know. Yeah. These are the things you know when you know.
Even if you didn't know, you might wake up and go, oh, geez, what have I done?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what did I do?
I can't. And then all of a sudden you're playing a guessing game.
Yeah, and did I make mistakes? But it doesn't matter. Just stay the course. It's all good. It's not a big deal. But
it is what it is.
So all in all, things good. Like training's been good. Been back on the mats rolling a little bit, which has been really fun. Just really cautious around those rolls because then I can still feel the knees a bit funny.
Yes.
But it's I was speaking with my exercise physiologist this morning and we're working out going, cool, where am I getting, when I train and I'm putting in a bit of training, the hell is going on my watch? Apparently I have a compass on my watch. When I have training on when I do a bit of like jits or I'm doing something and I'm having some of those, some fatigue pains.
Okay, so where is it?
Yeah, where is it? And identifying that. We'll talk a bit more about that in this episode now, but so those things are now, we're building a bit of planning around, cool, what are some exercises that I need to make sure I'm getting done? Because when you're getting pain, doesn't necessarily mean you're injured there. It might mean that you've got some weakness and your body's letting you know this stuff isn't right.
Yes. Yeah.
So we were spending some time this morning discussing those things. Golf's a new sport, therefore there's new movements happening where I wouldn't normally be doing. So there's some fatigue in muscles that are certainly there. So I need to make sure that, especially with the knee, the muscles that are around it are supporting and I'm doing the right exercises to support the stuff that I need.
Yes.
How are you doing with your training? And then we'll come back to that.
Yeah, so...
Because you've done some really exciting things and some new things over the past, since our last check-in.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a little bit of a different...
Coco Bella, sponsor us.
Anyway. Please do.
Sorry.
Please do. Yes. Especially... So, quick sidebar. The carbonated Coco Bella.
Carbonated Coco Bella.
You've got them in the fridge out there.
Oh, those aren't carbonated, are they? They're not carbonated.
They're slightly light carbonated. They're in a can.
They're in a can. That's not carbonated. And that's not Coco Bella, by the way. That's
Isn't it Coco Bella?
No.
Oh, H2O.
H2O, yeah.
So there's the H2O coconut water in a can.
Yes.
Tastes way better than coconut water out of a carton. Just put it out there.
Hold on, wait. You got to clarify that, because yes, I agree with you. Except Cocoa Bella in a carton is the same as it is in a can. It's something to I swear to you.
Yeah, no. Maybe I just don't like Cocoa Bella.
No.
In general, because I'll have it in a shake, like berries and protein powder.
Okay.
Delicious.
Sure. No, I'm with you on this one. The cocoa, the H2O coconut water, the ones we have in the fridge, the cans, fantastic.
Yes.
The cartons, atrocious.
Oh, okay. So it's the H2O.
It's the H2O ones. There's something to, I don't know what it is. It might be something to do with their packaging and what, like the way it oxidizes or oxygenates when it's in the packet. It changes the flavor.
It's like they rub the top of every carton under someone's armpit.
Yep.
After a jiu-jitsu
That is
session.
a really, really apt description of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But no, I'm going to defend Cocoa Bella here in this, because I drink that a lot.
Yeah.
And the carton stuff is as good as the can stuff whenever I get it.
apologize, Cocoa Bella. I've never had you in a can.
Please sponsor us.
So-
But
Please forgive Cameron.
please forgive Cameron, and thanks for ruining everything, Cameron. But no, you are right about the H2O ones.
Okay,
That
there
is,
we go.
because that's been my experience as well. And it's the same, they have like a jug one. There's like a plastic jug version of it. And that just tastes like plastic. It's really weird. It's like their product takes on the flavor of the packaging.
Receptacle. Interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Okay.
Anyway,
Sorry.
that's a sidebar. Back to
sidebar.
Cameron's training and
Yeah. So look, the start of the year, since probably the last training update we did, I haven't trained a whole lot on the mats.
Sure.
I did I got a couple of solid weeks of ketoing.
Yeah, I was really proud of you.
And I was and that coincided with ramping up the gym work.
Yep.
And then I had a bit of it wasn't a hamstring injury, but it was kind of that precursor where, again, if you know the feeling, like if you listen to your body, and we'll get into this later on. If you listen to your body, you always kind of know, unless it's a freak accident, someone falls on your knee, you kind of get an idea of, oh, something's not right.
Yeah.
And I had that, and it almost felt like a stitch in my hamstring, which just didn't go away.
Yeah, right.
And it resolved over the space of a few weeks. But that kind of put a kibosh on Hep Keto, because it's kind of hard to do Hep Keto without using your lower body.
True. Well.
What?
It's hard to do well.
It's hard to do.
Yes.
Yes. But no, so from an actual like Hep Keto Jiu-Jitsu perspective, it's been fairly slow. But from a gym perspective, I've now engaged a coach. For myself, I got involved with a group of guys who were doing hey, we're gonna get as lean as possible in February.
Sure.
We're not in February anymore, but we're still going, because no one gets lean in 1 month.
No.
Or 28, not even 1 month, 28 days.
Yeah.
But so my food's been largely on point. I'm finding out being the other people within this group are far more experienced than I am.
That's exciting.
From a training and nutrition, a recovery, and everything perspective. So it's been a great eye opener on it's just, and a lot of it is just, it's stuff that but that you also second guess on.
Yeah, totally.
And a lot of it is just staying the course.
But I think it's so important when you're trying to improve yourself on anything, right? To be around people who are already doing the thing.
And who are better than you.
And are better than you, exactly.
It's not impossible to improve training with people who are at or below your level.
Yeah.
But it's a lot harder. And if you're training with people above your level, you're going to improve that much quicker.
It's also, it's not just training, right? I think sometimes, like, for example, like if you were talking about business, right? And it's less about the training and the physical and whatever. If you're talking about business and knowledge, if you can be around people that are trying to do the thing that you're doing and they're doing it well, you're going to learn things and from perspectives from other people who are looking at the same thing you're looking at, but with different eyes, different thoughts, and different experiences.
Absolutely.
And you're going to be able to learn and take away from those things.
Yep.
And I think for you in particular, and what you're doing with this sort of coaching, I think it's really exciting, because you're getting you're getting around like-minded people who are experienced, who have as much or more experience than you in the space that you're enjoying, but it's also just different perspectives.
It's all different perspectives, yeah. And what I find,
that should be another whole podcast, perspectives. We should do another episode.
We'll do that next week.
Yeah, next week.
That's actually a good one.
Yeah.
Because what it is, it is a lot of different perspectives, and it's people who are coming at there's probably 15 of us in the group.
Yeah, right.
20, 15. And everyone's got a slightly different angle on how they approach a problem, or how they approach consistency or staying the course or recovering from injuries, like injury management. And it's fascinating. And it's also comforting because you know that there's some guys in this group who they're fitness influencers that have massive followings online. They struggle with the same problems
that everyone else does.
Everyone else. Like, they're humans.
100%.
And they just present themselves better for periods of time.
Exactly right.
And that was also a good perspective.
Yeah, but that is also a really good segue into this conversation. So
yes,
let's continue that.
Yeah.
That
So
pathway.
so let's go with because again I don't want to focus too much on how we got
Yeah,
into
no.
Because I think we've covered that off a little bit.
Most of them. Here it is. We overtrain. We don't look after our bodies.
And you know
it's
what?
basically like the ins and the outs of our injuries.
So that's probably the best segue into this conversation because we touched on this the other day, and I'm a firm believer that if you sit down or not even sit down, but everyone, like, you think about the angel and the devil on your shoulder. Everyone's got those voices of, for the most part, you know what to do.
Wrist lock the children. Don't wrist lock the children. Always wrist lock the children.
I both the angel and the devil say the same thing.
Is that just me?
They're both saying wrist lock. You typically, what will be helpful. And I'll refrain from saying what you should or shouldn't do.
Yeah.
You typically know what will be helpful for you and what will be unhelpful.
Sure.
We know that warming up properly will be helpful. We know that
not warming up, unhelpful.
We know that stretching before or after you train.
Helpful.
Not stretching. Unhelpful. And every time, and especially the one thing that gets me, I used to get this playing basketball, I get it every time I do Hapkido, get it every time I do jiu-jitsu. I find myself at some point during the class going, oh, there's something I need to work on. And it's not even technique-wise, it's, oh, my body doesn't feel good in this position. I need to work on that outside so that when I come to class, it feels good. And that's typically you haven't been doing your rehab or you haven't been doing your stretching.
It's so funny. It's like one of the students in class the other day was like, I'm really struggling with following through on my double legs, like driving.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. When you're showing me the technique, she's doing the technique. And immediately as I watched her, I asked her, I said, hey, just do you lift? Do you do any lifting? Do you gym? Do you do that stuff? She goes, oh, no, not really. Don't really do the thing. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, that's fine. It's all good. But your hip flexors are weak.
Yeah.
And I was like, because you've got no driving power through your hip. And I was like, so like you're not pushing through, so you need to like be squeezing your glutes. There's stuff to be pushing forward, which is going to help the driving motion of what you're trying to do. And then as we were discussing that, and it's funny, it's one of those things, like I would never have given advice like that to someone a long time ago. It would have been like, oh, just work on your double legs. Just work on your things. And I'm like, oh, you actually need to do some movements and some strength gain.
Generate power
to be able to generate power in that position. And it's not, I'm not saying, if that person decides to go out and start gymming, great. But I was like, even just the general movements of driving through your hip, like practicing that movement of pushing forward on it is going to help.
Yeah, not just do more double legs.
Do more double legs, yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective because I do know that the big one for me is what's the first thing that goes through your mind when you get injured?
Me?
Yeah.
Let's
keep it G-rated. Without going down the full
sure.
chasm of self-destruction.
Usually when I get into the first one's like, oh, how much is this going to cost me?
Yeah,
like it's usually the first one.
Do I need surgery?
Yeah, because usually my level of what I consider injury is I have to go to hospital.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's like I tweak something and I'm not really thinking about it. Like I'm like, oh, fine, rest, whatever.
No, you tweak an neck to something. You're like, oh, okay,
cool, that's
annoying.
It's
going to be annoying.
Yeah, but injury for me is so. I guess I leave it too long before I count it as an injury, if I'm being honest. But then, okay, for example, if I'm looking at like when I do a strain, I can distinctly remember, and I think I've said this before on the podcast, I distinctly remember going, oh, fuck, I'm old. Yep. Because I was 32 years old at the time. It was 10 years ago, and I was 32. I did a turning heel kick. Yep. I wasn't warm because at that point, I never had to warm up because
warm-ups
young,
didn't exist. Yeah.
Didn't exist, young, everything works. did a turning heel kick just before class, was practicing something, whoosh, doing, and I went, oh, what the hell is that? How the hell have I done my hamstring? That's never happened before. Shit, I'm old.
Yep.
And I'm like, God, now I have to warm up. And so now before I ever do those, I stretch the hamstrings and I make sure I'm just got some blood in there and I'm doing some stuff, and then it's fine again. But it doesn't mean I have to do a 45-minute warm up, but I do need to do some things that are get targeting the right muscles to make sure that I'm ready to go.
Yes.
Before I can't just I can still do the technique at the drop of a dime, but if I'm going to whip one and I'm going to like,
if you're going to send it,
if I'm going to send it, I got to make sure there's some blood in there.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like these days, I guess the first thing that goes through my mind is like, did I warm up properly or did I not?
Did I not? Yeah. Is it a state thing? Like, is it a physical state? Like I should have, or is it just something else?
Correct. So
but
that's probably the first thing.
Just on that. So for all, actually, interesting question for everyone out there, because most of us, I imagine, like we're north of 40.
Speak for yourself. I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah. Here I am. I can't help it. I'm 42. It is what it is.
Do you, when you get out of bed in the morning, you're like, okay, if I have to kick someone in the head today, first of all, do I have the flexibility in the pants? First check. Second of all, do I need to really like warm up at home, just loosen the body so that if the situation arises where I need to kick someone in the head, I can do it without going, hey, mate, just hold on.
No lie to you, I don't actually have to, I still don't think about, I mean, because I'll whip that out, no problem. So like, if I have to kick you in the head, there's way more's gone wrong before we get to there. It's not a matter of just kicking someone there, but I could still do that in a heartbeat.
Yes.
So there's no problem with that. But you are right, and sorry, this is a thing that you and me and Scott both do. The measure of buying jeans is, can I kick someone in the head?
It's the old
I will not
Chuck
wear
Norris.
Them. It's the old Chuck Norris
jeans.
high kick jeans. I will not wear jeans that I could not kick above waist height in, because I'm just like, well, that's just not how that works. I'm not comfortable in this. I'm not flexible to do the thing.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, yeah,
that's so you know, the measure of a good pair of pants.
If I'm buying new jeans, the tester is in the mirror. I'm that guy in the mirror in the store going, wah, 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 wah. Like, you know, it's like, can I do the thing or not? And I'm sure there's
nothing wrong with that.
One or two jeans sales people that have been like, the fuck is wrong with this guy?
What is going on in that changing room?
See, it's not all Asians, but it's always Asians.
Yes.
That's what you do. See, I told you, mate, all Asians do martial arts. They all do karate. Oh, here we are. Anyway,
So
we digress.
Yeah, so I think that initial moment when you do, again, it's that injury, the proper injury, not just a strain. Because strains, you're kind of like,
yeah.
Like even when I did the hamstring, I remember doing it in class, and I kind of just stopped and I went, that's annoying. But I knew, because again, once you've experienced these things, you go, it's not a full tear.
Yeah.
Because a full tear is a couple of months. That would have been devastating.
Yeah. No.
Whereas this is kind of like a small thing. I'm like, if I keep going, it'll end up in a full tear.
Yeah.
But I just, and this, I should just say, if you get those, like, first of all, don't be soft, yes. But if you also feel like there's something wrong,
probably is.
Don't train through it, because we're probably all trained through an injury where we shouldn't have before. You haven't stopped class and then end of class, you cool down. And that shit is way worse.
When I did my AC in my shoulder many years ago, that was the dumbest, like, train through, it'll be fine situation ever. Because at that time too, in my 20s, and I'm just like, you know, it happens, shoulder's a bit sore, like, it's fine. But just having zero understanding of how the body works or any kind of reasonable thought process. And then I'm just turning up to training every day, like, whatever, just don't try not to attack that for me, should be right. Pushing on stuff. And then all of a sudden I'm not sleeping because I'm in so much pain. Yeah. Then finally go to doctor like 2 weeks later. Oh, you've torn your entire shoulder. You just don't do anything for 8 weeks. Yeah. Oh, sick. So, you know, that's like, thanks. Anyway, but that's what I mean. Yeah, so definitely we've all trained through the dumb shit.
I've done the same thing. I got my shoulder wrenched second Dan, right, and it went in and out in a flash, and I didn't move, and I went, oh, that doesn't feel good. You know that burning pain and the nerve and the weakness. Yeah. And I went, like, I'm sure I'll be fine. Yeah. It's just so dumb. But so I think a really good thing is when you first get injured, you've obviously got to go, like, how bad is it?
Yeah, how bad is it?
Realistically, is it a stub toe? Yeah. Or am I going to the hospital thinking, how much is this going to cost?
That's the one.
Like, where are we at on the scale?
Yep.
But and I should say, we've both spoken about this. The things that we're about to talk about, we do not do all of them because we're human and we have our
100%.
own, speed bumps in how we think and how we
100%.
process and operate.
100%.
And so we're going to talk about stuff that is way more helpful that we do some of the time, but it is also real. I'm not saying it's not easy.
I'm
right?
I'm laughing because I know when my partner listens to this, I'm going to get yelled at. Because I know.
Like, yes, I'm doing this, and the fuck you are.
Yeah, no, that is not what I'm saying today. I have had to overcome many injuries, and so we have a lot of experience in that space. But I'm totally flawed, and I'm totally human, and it's,
we both are.
Yeah,
and
100%.
I think this will speak to, put your hands up if you've ever been to a physio, and you go back a week later or 2 weeks later, and they're like, so how are the exercises you did? And you're like, it's that dance of pretending.
I literally had this conversation with Anthony this morning.
Yeah.
With my ex-physiologist. I'm like, hey, full disclosure.
I didn't know, did I?
I'm not doing shit right now because every time I've got an hour free, I want to hit golf balls at the moment.
Yep.
And I'm prioritizing doing that over the recovery stuff. But I did say, I was like, I've got to say though, I actually the movement and the stuff that I'm doing is actually helping a lot with the leg, and I'm doing some stuff there.
Yeah.
But I realize this is where I'm at with stuff. Yes. So I'm honest with those sort of things. But no, so I mean, this is an interesting one too because over the years, you and I have very greatly different approaches to these things, and you and I have had this conversation privately before, so it's nothing that we haven't spoken about. But questions without notice. No, is that sometimes over the years, I would say that you are too cautious in the way that you approach your injuries.
Yep.
To ratio to training to stuff. That it is what it is. And I'm at the other side of not cautious enough.
Do you know what it is?
But as we've both gotten to where we're at now, I think we've both come back to
closer.
the closer to we can train.
Mine's not so much being cautious. It's I have a significant problem doing an activity that I can't do.
Yes.
If I can't do,
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Like you, I don't want to take part.
Yep.
Throw the toys out of the car.
Yeah, it's just rattle them leaving the bin.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm out. I struggle to go because also I know, and this is through a lot of past experience. If I'm a little bit injured, but then I warm up and I feel okay,
you're gonna go hard.
I'm gonna go because I'm like, I feel good now.
And I guess that's probably actually a credit to you, understanding who you are as a person.
Yeah, well, there's that's one part of it, but the other part of it is, and there's plenty of guys and girls who show up here with injuries or whatever, and they can manage. Yeah. And our good friend Dion, is one of those who, and he probably trains too much.
Yeah. I was constantly having to
hey, stop doing that.
Stop doing the thing. Stop. And he's looking at me like, stop telling me what to do. You're not my dad. And I'm like, shut up, Mr. Doctor, psychologist thing, and just listen to the people who you've been trying to. Anyway, yeah.
Yes.
But he did good though. He did pretty good.
Yeah. So there is, I think there is a balance there about. But you're right. We are kind of coming back.
We are, as we're getting back to finding good balance on both sides of those things.
Yes.
Because for me, look, okay, the biggest injuries I've had have all been due with my knee.
Yep.
And so that's been my biggest flaw. And I'd say one of the learnings that I have now when I look back is that one of the things I really struggle's not even the right word. One of the things I ignored. Yeah. I didn't struggle because I didn't try. I ignored completely was rehabilitation.
Yep.
On major stuff. Surgeries, things like that. The first time I got my knee operated on, all I wanted to do was be back on the mats. So the moment I felt even a little bit capable, I was back. I was just in. Let's go. And the thing that did to me in hindsight was completely alter the progression of where I could have been.
Yep.
As a technician, as a
competitor,
all of those things. Because what happened was, because I did not build the trust back into my leg of what my leg was capable of doing, I completely stopped doing half of the movements on the right side of my body. Yeah. Because I was doing everything around protecting my leg, even on a subconscious level, but even consciously.
Yep.
Anytime someone would move towards my right leg, I would immediately withdraw it and protect it because I didn't want to get injured again or hurt myself again. So what that did was have a knock-on effect
Yep.
over my entire jiu-jitsu career on how my jiu-jitsu developed,
Yep.
what I started doing, the way my techniques happened, the techniques I learned. I kind of ended up going backwards because I played such a defensive game because I was always protecting my leg. So when I would see the opportunity to like, hey, wrestle up and sweep this person, I wouldn't do it because I'd be like, oh, but you might hurt your leg.
Yeah.
So what happened was, even though by the time my leg was like healed, physically healed, mentally, I wasn't even close.
Yeah, you still didn't have the trust.
And that still, to this day, has had an impact on the way that I roll.
Yep.
So like the knock-on effect actually has been detrimental to my progression as a martial artist. It hurt in a really, really big way. If I don't regret much in these lives, but if I could go back and change that, I would. Which is why like the post time since, even the second one, I actually put some effort in. Yep. But it was like 3,000 times more effort than the first one. But still wasn't enough.
Because the first one bar was so low.
The first bar was so low.
Yeah.
So I felt like, oh, I've done the thing. But now on I just didn't.
Yep.
On the third time, the third surgery stuff, and I would argue that the second and third surgeries came about because I never did the first bit.
100%.
Because every injury, I would say, with my meniscus, the first one I had was someone doing something really stupid and turning my leg the wrong way they shouldn't have, and that was a beginner, and I was a beginner, and it is what it is. But the second and the third times were just completely they were martial arts, they were jiu-jitsu related, but nothing to do with anything other than weakness in my body. Yep. Weakness in the leg, no strength, no training, no fixing.
I would say that goes for most, like, again, excluding those accidents, someone pulls or jumps guard on your neck, whatever, that kind of stuff, or your leg gets caught.
Yeah.
People have had those.
Yeah, totally. And those can happen regardless of how strong you are. Like, doesn't.
Oh yeah, we should say there's no matter how many times people say they can bulletproof your body, there's no such thing as bulletproofing. No. You can make it more injury resilient. You can strengthen your body.
100%.
But if you're going to get injured, you're going to think about elite athletes.
Still injure themselves. They're the elite of the elite. Like
they're doing rehab 24/7.
That's it.
And if they still get injured,
so are we.
So are we. Us mere mortal humans, mere mortals, are going to get injured too.
Yeah, totally.
But I'm the same as you. I can think back to every single one of my injuries. So I've had the two main ones that caused me more grief. Did my meniscus, didn't require surgery, but did that standing up after a break fall. And my knee just was in the wrong position and just clunked, gone.
Away we go.
And then a nerve compression, which happened at the States last year.
Yeah.
But that was also, in the weeks leading up to that, I had a shoulder strain and then my neck was really tight and my shoulder was killing me. And I'm like, just push through. You're competing in a couple of weeks. And I kind of just ignored a lot of that. And then all of a sudden, so it's effectively self-inflicted. Yeah. All of this stuff. And that's part of, again, why we're talking from experience here, that we know what's helpful. And we've
made all the mistakes.
Because we've made
and still make mistakes.
All the mistakes.
And still making mistakes.
And everyone will. Like, no one's perfect. No. You're always going to make mistakes. Yeah. But doing a little bit better each time. Yeah. Hopefully by the time I'm 60, I'll have figured it out.
It's funny because, like, I am the type of person that wants, if I'm, like, I love being on the mats. I want to be here even when I'm hurt. Even when I was injured, I would still go to class and I would turn up and I would watch and listen and potentially take some notes or just help others doing stuff. Even though I can't I can be involved. Yes. Because I want to be around it. But same again, the moment I get a little bit of like, oh, I can do some stuff, I tend to go a little bit too hard too quick, and then it's a thing. This time around, I've been the most cautious I've ever been around it. I have been doing the work on like trying to strengthen, trying to like bring things back. I have been responsible around not overloading, not doing the things with the stuff that's there. But I've got more to do. I need to do more with it. But I think it can be really difficult because, for example, like one of our students, one of our students and friends is going out for an elective operation that just needs to get something sorted. And that's going to take him out for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I know that's going to be incredibly mentally tough for that person. And they're going to really struggle. They're going to not want to be here because they want to do the thing. But I know how important it is for them to be here, to just try and stay connected.
Yep.
Even if that's only once a week, even if it's coming and helping others, even if it's like, so sometimes getting over those injuries is about what's your mentality around where you're sitting with it. Like, I remember when I did the knee this time, my partner and I were chatting, and she goes, you get a week.
Yeah.
You get 1 week, drown your sorrows for 1 week. You get to have the pity party of your life. And after that, sack up and get on with it.
Yep.
And I was just like, thank you.
Yep.
Cool. Now, it wasn't that I was at the week. I was about 2 days in. Yeah. I was about 2 days in.
I remember you've said to me, you're like,
yeah.
Like, I'm just, it is, but.
It is what it is. Fuck my life, the whole lot, right? And it's like, cool. But it's like, have the moment you need to have.
I think you
grieve how you need to feel.
Do you know, there is actually a little bit of grief. Whenever you get injured, you have to be kind of
especially when it's a major injury, especially when it's something that, stops you from working, stops you from daily life for being.
Yeah.
When you need assistance.
Yep.
Other people, you need to lean on other people for them to help you. Have those moments.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
mentally acknowledge what's going on, acknowledge where you're at, acknowledge what the fuck's happening, and that it totally sucks.
Yes.
Then fucking pick yourself up, find what you need to start, where is your recovery? Like we said, we talked before, build plans, look at where you need to be, work backwards, and start going, right, how does that start? And if that means getting up and down off the couch 10 times, because that's where it starts, that's where you fucking start.
And I like, there's two people that come to mind with this. There's Alan Watts, they're almost diametrically opposed, but very similar. Alan Watts, who's kind of like a Taoist philosopher, like guru, and Jocko Willink.
Yeah, Jocko.
And Alan, very similar. Opposite. But Jocko there's a particular video, we will put it in here, and it's just called Good.
Oh, yeah. You tired? Good.
You got injured?
Yeah, man.
Good.
Yeah.
You've done this? Good. Lost your job? Good. Because there's always, you can take that and go, and let you take an example of, you did your knee again. I mean, it's not the injury itself is not good, but good. What you can do something else. Yeah. You can take that injury and it's not always bad. You can go, all right, I can do more upper body. I can study technique. I can fix my food. I can go out and I can start playing golf. There's heaps of things you can do to improve and start to get better, and also to make sure that it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's the you have to look at, give yourself a couple of days of just,
whatever.
Oh, my life sucks.
Yep.
And then
throw yourself your pity party.
Yeah.
And fucking pick
yourself
put your
up.
big person pants on and let's go.
Exactly right.
Let's go.
Exactly. And I think that's it. Again, easier said than done.
Yeah, it totally is. And I think that is also a scale of relative term. Master Greg, who was on our one of our last episodes, check that out, by the way. We didn't talk about that at all. We need to talk about, in the second one when we do, we're going to talk about his trip. We had a triple heart bypass and like the whole lot.
Yeah.
And like coming back from something like that is not I'll just put my pants back on and keep going. Like, it's
a longer road.
There's a much longer road to that sort of stuff. And but that has to start with one step at a time, right? And like everything does, but it's all, I think that's relative to that scale of.
And can I if you haven't already worked this out, we're not talking when we talk injury. We're not talking about you got cancer.
No, of course not.
And we're talking your.
Yeah, you've done a hamstring strain, you pulled a thing, you've done your knee, you've done your ankle, shoulders, whatever. Yeah.
And it's something that's going to prevent you from training. Correct, we're not talking about bigger.
Yeah, no. Heart attacks and all that other stuff.
That's not within our sphere of expertise.
Oh, absolutely not.
And also much bigger than just going, all right,
get on with it.
For a couple of days and then
feel bad for a couple. Yeah, exactly. That is
shut up.
That is obviously
get on with it.
Obviously not what we're talking about. But there is a you break your leg, there is a level of I can't just put my you got to get on.
Well, you
with it.
can't actually put your pants on because you've got a broken leg.
Maybe not. Maybe you need to work flexibility. But yeah, there are scales to the thing we need.
I think it's still I think that the point still sticks where figure out okay, it's happened,
Totally.
and there's nothing you can do about it.
Totally.
And then you're allowed to feel your feelings.
Yeah.
But
feel
then
like I feel about it.
you have to move forward. Okay,
what are we doing about
what are we doing? What's step 2?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Where is step 2? But one thing, and just to kind of come back to pre-injury stuff, and I think this is something that I do more now than ever because of the lessons I've learned from not doing it, is that it used to always be in my mind that you only do rehab when you're recovering from an injury. And then once you're fully recovered, you don't need to do rehab anymore.
Why would you?
Why would you?
You're not
Because
rehabbing
you're not rehabbing. There's nothing to
You are
rehab.
rehabilitated.
You're fully rehabilitated. You're released into society. Go and run free.
You've just got that 50-meter rule that we can't talk about, but yeah, sure.
Not necessarily. But I don't think you can ever not be doing rehab, and especially.
Well, at what point is it prehab now?
Yeah, so this is the thing. It becomes prehab.
Becomes
And I'm
prehab.
talking, look, maybe if you're a gym bro and you're literally all you're worried about is getting bigger and stronger, you probably still need to do a certain amount of it, but it's maybe less important than if you're doing a dynamic, unpredictable martial art.
Well, it's really interesting because I just had someone start the other day, and obviously they're new to the club, literally done their first lesson. Super nice person.
Yep.
Lovely, lovely human. Massive gym, just jacked. Older person, really nice. Clearly, he's put a lot of work into themselves.
Yep.
Over the years.
Yep.
Is an older person starting trying to do something new and something fun, but definitely is fit, really strong, but is mobility is doop, shoulder.
Yeah.
Can't put arm past that.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But it's there is interesting things. It's has looked after lots of stuff, but has neglected some other things.
If you never, I don't think, and I think this runs true for anyone who you don't use also you don't train what you don't need.
Yeah,
Like if
that's
you've
it.
never
Yeah,
needed
yeah.
your arm to go past a certain
correct.
angle, or if you've never needed to touch your toes,
Yeah, correct.
you're probably not training it.
Yeah.
And people are like, hey, why are you always stretching? I'm
But then, Brit went to do a bridge and roll, and I nearly stood up because of just the explosion out of the hips. I was like, Jesus. It was very cool, very cool. So it was an interesting, poses an interesting problem as a coach because I was like, oh, cool, I can't actually show you this the way I would normally show someone because your shoulder will not move that way.
yeah, so you've now got to come from a different perspective.
Yeah.
That's
But anyway, sorry,
interesting.
but that's what I mean. So that's you've got the rehab stuff, right? Which is getting yourself back to zero.
Yep.
What's your normal, right?
Yes.
And then from there, maintenance or prehab. Because I think one of the reasons that my knee did so well this time, which I think we've talked about before,
Yep.
I'd done so as well coming back to getting into doing stuff so quickly this time was because I had unknowingly done 12 months of prehabilitation.
With all the strength training.
With all the strength training and the weights and everything. So my legs and my body was physically in a really, really good place.
Yes.
So then when I got to the bad place, you were instead of being -20, I was probably at -10.
Yes.
And so then getting back to zero wasn't as difficult.
And even I think the more trained you are and the better condition your body is in, the quicker you will recover from injury anyway.
Which is also why you look at all those superstars who get injured and they're sidelined from their sport, and you're like, oh, they did a meniscus injury, for example, and then I go, well, when I did a meniscus, it took me this long to feel good again, and you're like, how are they playing at that professional level in 5 weeks?
Yeah,
and it's there's a few things going on there.
Oh, look, there's some
there's some spicy sauce.
Some spicy sauce.
There's some,
in addition to the hyperbaric chambers and all the
other stuff they're doing, and all the money that gets thrown at them
yeah.
for those kinds of things. But I would say that the baseline thing is that they are already in incredible shape.
Yes.
And all the things are working the way they're supposed to work.
Yep. The muscles are already there.
Potentially, and you've
and you actually made a good point though about your rehab going from whatever the deficit is back to your baseline, which is where you can then return to doing what you want to do. And then I think the prehab comes into it where it's going, and ultimately I think your goal should be to never be at zero. So like if you're starting from a deficit, you get back to maintenance. Okay, this is just, I can get back on the mat, I can roll, I can do everything. Your goal is to kind of be at 15, 20, 30, 40, 50% plus, so that because we all know what are the problem areas. It's our knees, our shoulders, and our hips. And okay, yeah, you might break a toe on the mats. Everyone's done that. You get your toe jammed and caught and whatever else. Nothing you can do about it. It's just shit that happens, and you can't prehab your toe, your big toe. That sucks.
I mean, surely there's someone out there that's prehab some toes, but I reckon it's time better spent. You could do
toes over ankles guy or something.
Toes over ankles.
I don't know.
Toes over. It's just constant screaming. The entire page is just constant screams.
Oh, that's hideous.
Yeah.
As someone who's broken their toe several times, it's not great.
I think I've stubbed my little toe about 8 times this week, kicking out all the shit that I've left lying around the house.
Yeah.
Kids here have left stuff out, and I'm kicking stuff as I'm walking through with bare feet.
Oh Jesus!
I'm sure the dog fucking did something. The other day.
Your dog's always standing on your. Why do dogs never know that they're standing on your foot?
They just look at you like, get off.
You're like, get off my foot. You weigh 40 kilos, and they're like, what's that? What do you want? Are we going for a walk? What do you? Give me something to eat, bitch.
Do something. That's so true. That's so
I swear they do it on purpose. Anyway, I think the idea is to go, okay, because if you're training and then you're going to the gym, you're probably bench pressing or you're overhead pressing, you're doing some pushing movements. Let's make sure, and again, it's just those areas that are going to cause you concern. 100%. Your rotator cuff and your upper back, and everything is working and is as strong as it can be. Yeah. And it's not going to, there's no guarantees. No. But it's going to put you in such a good standing compared to the previous version of you. Yeah. That it makes everything else so much easier. And same goes for your knees. Obviously, that's a whole killer area. And again, we're not doctors of any sort. It's
funny. I like when I did my meniscus the very first time.
Yep.
Was years and years ago at Hapkido, and the thing was, I didn't even know what a meniscus was. I didn't know I had one. I didn't know. I just thought it was my knee.
Yep.
And I thought I was telling people I dislocated my leg and then I put it back in. Like it went back in. It went out and then it went in.
Yep.
That's what it felt like. It felt like it went clonk, clonk.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, and it was doing kicks and stuff and whatever. And same again, at that time, I'd never lifted a weight in my life. And that many men didn't. I still didn't for fucking 15 more years after that. Yeah. But the thing was, because meniscus, in case if you don't know, the meniscus is like the cartilage between the little discs that sit between your knees that keep your bones not touching.
Kind of like the cushioning.
Yeah, the cushioning. They look like little beans that sit inside your things, like cushions. Anyway, they when they tear, they can just float around in there, and you won't even notice. Nothing happens. And then when they move, then they lock your leg out, and then you have to have. And then sometimes they go back, and then
caught,
they don't. It gets caught, and they catch. And sometimes when they catch, they stay there, and that's when you have to have surgery and shit. Anyway, so there's a whole thing around that. Well, I didn't know any better, and so for years and years, I would just train and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a funny knee," and it was like 15 years of just constantly clonk, 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 every now and then. And then eventually that caught up with me, and eventually it locked, and eventually I had to go and do something about it. Yep. And they're like, "This is what it is," and I went, "Oh, that's what that is." Like 15 years later, but same again. If I had actually gone and seen people and asked the right questions and done the right things, potentially I start strengthening and doing stuff much earlier, and then potentially.
But this is also
sliding doors, though,
Yeah, and I've said this on this podcast many times that it's nothing offensive.
No, I was laughing because my brain went to the alternate universe where there's an Alex that can do pistol squats and dragon tails already because he actually
that Alex exists.
Yeah, he's the president of the world.
He is the Almighty.
He's the Almighty. He rules everything. No, he actually listens to people and does the right things.
So this is an interesting, and again, this is like mind games and fuckery, and I'm not sure if this is even a thing, but I've heard it referenced a few times, and it sounds good in theory. But there's the way of people kind of, I'm not sure if it's motivation, but looking at there's a version of Alex out there who does everything right.
Yeah,
The
sure.
same thing. There's a version of Cameron who does, you know when you play a game, like car racing game, and you have the shadow.
Yep.
Is that it? Like it's called a shadow, like your previous or the best lap, and you get to
You're talking about
follow.
Mario Kart specifically here. Yes.
No,
It happens in lots of things.
I was
but
thinking
Mario
more,
Kart's
in,
really
more
famous
it was
for.
like Gran Turismo or something that I play. Anyway.
Yeah, that did. Yeah, you do that. But
And
Mario Kart's
and then
really sort of
you're
made that
following it around the track, and it's kind of showing you where to go.
thing. Yeah. Or it was the last lap
The
that
last
you
lap
did,
that
or
you
whatever
did.
it is. Yeah.
And there's a version of you that exists that is, hey, he's doing the rehab, and he can do the pistol squats and the dragon tail squats and everything else, and doesn't favour one side of his body because he's done everything.
Yeah.
And that version of you in real life can always exist. Like it's just at some point in the future, if you do everything right.
We are on the back nine, Cameron.
We
We're on the fucking back
Mate,
nine.
look,
It might be hole 10, not fucking
I
18, but we're on the fucking back nine, my bro.
I had a conversation with a very good client of mine just this week actually, and she is 42, 44, 42, 44, something like that. And she's been doing karate. I didn't know this. Cool. She's been doing karate she's a medical professional,
Sick.
but works a lot of hours, has been doing karate with her kids. Same thing. They live over the other side of the city, and the kids into karate after school, and the instructor's like, why don't you just jump up? You know, you're here, the adults class, and she's like, no, I can't do that. And then eventually,
Of course,
jumped in and we're talking about it. And she's like, oh, you know, I'm cautious, and I'll never be any good. But I'm like, what do you mean? Okay. She goes, oh, well, I'm started so late that I'm like, okay, you've got like 30 years. Where's the rush? You've got all the time in the world to be as good as you want to be. And that version of Alex, we might be on the back nine, but you can make some birdies and some eagles, my friend.
that's very true.
So there's nothing stopping you from getting to the 18th and just laying it up inches from the pin.
That's totally true. That is totally true. That is the goal, by the way.
That is the goal.
That is the goal.
So anyway,
Sorry, just on that, can I just say on that, just because you just referenced some golf stuff. One of the things I've got to say that's been super inspiring is my misunderstanding of golf as a young man to where I am now. Now, when I was young and 18s, 20s, and all that, I looked at golf as not a sport. I looked at golf as it's an old man's game. It's boring as shit. Why would anyone do it?
Yep.
And I can understand from the outside in. But like obviously lots of young people play golf, and it's you can have an incredible profession and earn lots of money, and if you're really, really good at it.
Yeah.
Right. But that's not the point. The thing that I have to admit, I got a glimpse into my late future over the last few months, because I've been going and playing some morning golf, and I'll just go as a single to play some rounds and get put with whoever's available. And I've been playing, and I got to play with a couple of like real regulars at this particular place who are in their 70s, and one of them was in their 80s, and they play every Wednesday, and they play this. The four of them play together, and they hit the ball and do the thing. Now, watching them, I was kind of like, I was like, oh my God, I get it now. Like, golf as in itself, I was looking at it going, fuck, I really hope this is me when in another 4 years with my mates, catching up every Wednesday or twice a week or whatever it is, hitting some golf balls, giving each other absolute shit. Because these boys were just going for it. Like, they were fucking, spend more time at the beach, mate. Like just giving each other. But the point was, I was also looking at it from the physical point of view, because I'm watching these old men. One of them was in really good shape for his age. Yep. The other looked more like a typical sort of 70, 80-year-old, a little bit of weight, that sort of stuff. But hips working real good. Yeah. Walking, only one of them was in a cart that day, but he'd actually come. The reason I got put with them, he'd had like a surgical procedure that morning that he then came to. He wasn't playing, but he wanted to hang out with the boys. Yeah, so he was in the cart because he couldn't do the thing. But I got to fill his spot and then play the round with the boys. Yep. And I was just like, hinging, bending down, picking up ball, quads moving, glutes moving, arms, social aspect. And I was just like, it's so much more than just the hitting of the balls. And I was like, and regardless of but you could argue anything about any sport you want to do.
Could be jiu-jitsu.
Could be jiu-jitsu, could be tennis, could be whatever. But I was kind of like, golf in particular, low impact sport for not as hard on the body, trying to do jiu-jitsu and all that sort of stuff. That being said, it's challenge, has its own challenges, But I was really inspired to look at these dudes and go, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually really cool.
Yep.
Like, okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah, you know what? This could be like golf, like martial arts, skiing as long as I can, golf.
Golf. Yep.
It's like golf's quickly become my third favorite sport.
I think it's an interesting one where I understand it the same way you do. When I was
Yeah.
younger, I'd play every now and then.
Yeah,
And I actually have to admit, I don't play golf much. I play once a year with my cousin.
sure.
But it is one of those activities where you can see there's a heavy social
100%.
element to it.
100%.
And also, if your technique is solid, you don't have to have the most physical presence
Yeah.
for it to be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because you can always your technique can always get better no matter how old you are.
100%. You don't have to hit it hard to be able to hit it far. You
Yeah.
just have to have the technique right.
That's it.
As long as you can keep moving your hips. And that was the thing. I was just thinking the longevity out of it. I was like, I've got good hips and things now. I'm strong and all that sort of stuff now. As long as I can keep moving, I could keep doing this.
Yeah.
So even I was more just like, if I'm completely fucked for martial arts in the long run, and I can just teach, but I can't actually do for as long as I'm hoping, it's going to be okay.
Yeah,
Because I've probably got golf. I've probably got golf. We'll be okay. So anyway, I was just going to say that was like a really, for me, I was actually you know what, I'm going to make that my win of my week.
That's quite
For this. Like, I was like, you know what, it's a good thing. There's actually some really, the future's going to be okay. Like, it's going to be all right.
Well, I think you do need those, almost like a fallback, but like another string to your bow, whatever, arrow in your quiver, whatever it is, where you go like, hey, that's awesome. And it ticks. Yeah, it's ticking
a lot
all of those boxes.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Which is terrific.
And I was just like, and I was just legitimately like Phil and Mike and those guys that I was just sort of like, fucking they could play, like they're really good. They've been playing like 40 years and like, you know, they can't hit the ball as long as I can. They're all like, Jesus, you got to drive on you. But then I'm just like, they're on the green and I'm fucking over there somewhere. And I'm just like, look at it's all technique.
But I think that's also the when you do see that, and I mentioned this actually in the episode that we filmed with Greg about his longevity. And yeah, he's obviously had the heart stuff going on. But when I first walked into the club, he was in his 60s, late 50s, early 60s.
It's still a physical, but he was jumping, rolling nut bops and turning heel kicks and all that sort of stuff in his 60s.
And I looked at him and went, oh, you've been doing this for ages and you are in this great condition. Sign me up. Like that's one of the big kind of elements of ticks for me when I look forward, you look forward to what you're, because if you walk into a club and the instructor's like hobbling around and, in a wheelchair, you're like, do I really want to, like, is it going to, am I going to get longevity out of this?
See, it's interesting. You don't really see, if I'm being honest, you don't see a lot of like really old wrestlers.
Like, wrestling is a young person sport.
That's what I mean. Like there are coaches, and then you'll see them go, "Oh, my coach can still throw me around when you do the thing," which is true. Like technique-wise, it's probably still there, but you just can't really do that sport at the at its peak of like what's required.
Yeah,
for the longevity.
One of the most inspiring things that you're like, I know for me, just go and watch a wrestling warm up.
Oh mate, go try and do one.
Just put on a video, a wrestling warm up, and then go, all right, I'm going to go and do that. And do you know what? It would actually, I think, be a huge benefit to a lot of people. All the tumbling and gymnastics and body awareness stuff, huge. But then it's the actual wrestling and all those guys when they start out in high school and they wrestle all the way through uni, and depending on how far they go, and it's every weekend, multiple times a week, and they're getting smashed and smashed and smashed. And there's only so much time your body can actually handle that before it just goes, do you know what? I'm like, no, there's no amount of rehab or prehab that gets you back out of that because you've literally destroyed yourself.
I think it's one of the things I love about jiu-jitsu is that it's still the same. It's like, you can't roll at the highest levels and push yourself the hardest forever. You just can't. We're all
fallible. Yeah.
Right? But I was like, I'll always be able to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like I'll always be able to do it. I'll always be able to do something. I'll always be able to roll a certain way. I'll always be able to have those sort of things. One of the reasons I love it so much. And so, like same with Aikido, to be honest. I won't be able to do all the flip falls and things forever, but I'll.
You're still going to inflict pain on people.
100%. You're still going to tap a lot.
That's it.
So things happen.
That's it. But I was going to say, sorry, just coming back to the injury like post-injury kind of mindset and what you need to be doing.
Sure.
I just think it never ends.
Yeah.
And this whole idea of, because leading up to when I did my knee, I was strength training a lot, like 6 days a week, doing Hapkido a couple of days a week, and I was doing all the like squat, deadlift, single leg squat, all the stuff.
Yeah.
But I wasn't taking. There was too much load.
Yep.
Wasn't taking enough rest.
Yep.
I was probably, still am over caffeinated. It's never changed.
It's a constant state for us.
It's
a constant state.
3 coffees and no breakfast. That's how we roll.
I'm 2 coffees, no breakfast. So yeah, I'm with you.
So there's always, but it was that all push and no pull, and injury happens.
Yeah, definitely.
And that is probably, I imagine a lot of people are listening or watching going, oh, yeah. So when I did done my shoulder, I'm just going the whole time.
Yep.
And this is especially evident, it doesn't have to take a huge amount of time, right?
Oh.
But if you finish class, and we're all guilty of this, finish class, have a quick chat, get changed, and go home.
Yep.
And then you go home and you have a shower and have dinner and go to bed. Or sit in a chair for a couple of hours. Yep. Or whatever it is. And then you get up the next day and you're like, oh, geez, a bit stiff. Just warm up, I'll be right, you know? And by warm up, I'll do the class warm up. And then we'll get back into it. And it's rinse and repeat. And rinse and repeat. And we wonder why we get injured.
Yeah, correct. I think there's also a lot to be said for like what's going on in your daily life that adds to those things too.
Yeah.
So like, because if when everything's going good, you're not stretching and you're not looking after yourself.
It's not going to happen when
it's not going to happen when you're stressed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so I think most of all the injuries I've ever seen usually come because people are in a stressed state in their personal lives normally.
Yep.
They come to class for a bit of like mental relief or mental reprieve. They get a bit of that, but then they go a little harder than they normally are because they're not in a great mindset, or they're just, they just try and push a bit harder than they should. And it's usually I could almost
you could almost predict
it. Yeah, and they get there and it's like it's doing, and then it's an ankle, it's a heel, it's a hamstring, it's a quad, it's a shoulder, it's a neck tweak, it's a it's just that for me, it's usually there's always some really obvious precursors that come up, and it's really easy to see from the outside looking in.
Of course,
I'm also guilty of the exact same shit. Is like, I know that, but then you're not thinking that way when you're in it.
Yep.
You just swimming. You just tread water to survive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to do something that makes you feel good.
And this is actually one of the really difficult parts about all of this is. And I was going to mention this before. Social media doesn't help.
No, not at all.
Because if you do this exercise or do this movement, do that, and your body will never hurt again.
If you can do 10 of these, then you can do 15 of these. Once you can do 15 of these, you can do 85 of these. And once you can do 85 of these, you can do 400,000 of these.
And then you can levitate.
Like
or you'll see them where they'll be doing a movement, and then they'll be like, it'd be a big red cross, and then they'll do a different movement. Yes. Yeah.
Finger wave.
Finger wave.
Fuck you and your finger waves.
And look, it's...
You know who you are.
Yeah. Well, I get it. It might be helpful.
For likes.
I think for likes. Yeah, for clickbait. But for actually getting advice from people is the best, I think the best medicine or the best, whatever you want to call it, for this. You need to be, and again, it's finding someone you trust.
Yep.
It's getting someone to give you, people who are doing what you're doing or who are where you want to be.
Yeah. 100%.
People who are broken, you're like, oh, maybe they've learned all their lessons from getting broken and they've got some good advice. We know a lot of the stuff that we're talking about as far as from personal experience. But if someone came to me and said, hey, Cameron, I've got this really a high hamstring strain. What do I need to do to rehab it? Go see a physio, mate. I'm not a doctor.
100%.
Go and get proper advice and get your proper rehab program. Yeah. Strengthen it, manage it.
I guess that's the main thing. If I have to give a takeaway now from all the years of experience and injuries and stuff that I've done, is finding balance between continuing on with what you're trying to achieve,
Mm-hmm.
but doing the work required to get you back to where you start, like
Yep.
where you were before you were injured,
Yep.
is just paramount.
Yeah.
Because you just won't, no matter, if you're injured and you're just like, I'm just going to keep doing the thing, you'll keep doing the thing, but you might be doing it at 70% or 60% of what you're capable of.
Yeah.
And the problem is you might feel good about doing that thing, but I promise you're not getting better. Like your injury's not getting better, and your technique, no matter what it is, isn't going to get better because you have to compensate for whatever the injury is.
Do you know, that's an amazing point, because I had a conversation with someone the other day and they're like, how often do you think you've trained at 100% in, actually this was with my coach Chris. He's like, in the gym or in martial arts, or when I used to play basketball, like how often do you ever think you were at 100%? And I'm like, I can't think of a time in the past 20 years when I've come to, maybe once, when everything worked together and I felt great. Because there's always something where you're like, I'm just a little 5% off here, 5%, and you're going to train through that, and that's fine. But yeah, how often do you actually get to that point where everything is working? It's synergy.
It's synergy. No, yeah, you're totally right. But that's what I mean. Like, it's not it, and it's hard. Like.
Oh no, it's not. And this is not. I'm not saying it's.
No, none of it's easy. None of it's easy. It's balance in everything.
But isn't also like, and isn't that kind of the point though? It's like none of it's easy.
No.
But if you want to do the thing, and this is something like, so a really good parallel is being hungry. Like if you want to lose weight, and lose weight I mean lose fat. At some point, you have to get comfortable with being hungry. There's no way around it, because your body is going to go, "Hey, what are you doing? I want food now." And you go, "No, we don't get, or we're going to get less."
Yeah.
And your body doesn't like that, and your body's going to throw you hunger signals at you, and you're like, "Oh, that's right. I don't like that." But so at some point, you just have to suck it up and go, "Well, if I want the thing, I've got to get used to the thing." And injury prevention and injury rehab is kind of the same thing. If you want to be able to do the activity at the best of your ability, sometimes you just have to go, it's not going to be easy, it's not going to be comfortable. I've got to do all that rehabby shit.
And and I think I would almost say, with the experience I've had now, the mentality around it is almost the same for losing weight. Like cutting weight, losing weight, getting fitter. Yeah. You need the buy-in.
Yeah, your why.
Your why, but you also need to have that, all right, because this is the thing, the reality of like rehabbing knees, for example, is fucking this. Straighten leg,
bend leg.
Straighten leg, bend leg. It is boring as batshit.
Yep.
But if you can do that boring bit, you're going to get to the next boring bit. And by the time you finish that boring bit, you're onto something that's a little bit more interesting. Then all of a sudden, you just you can start to see the wins. You can start to feel the difference when you actually consistently do the work.
But isn't that, in like, without getting existential here, isn't that kind of the secret to succeeding at anything in life, is to do just the boring stuff.
Boring shit.
Day after day after day.
What is it? Is it Sam Selleck? Is it Sam Selleck? Is it Sam Selleck? Is that the guy? The massive, that Sam?
Yeah.
Is that him? Yeah, he was like the reality. The reality of like getting big and getting lean and all that is not hard. You just got to do the boring shit.
Oh no, it was C-Bum.
Oh, was that C-Bum?
Chris Bumstead.
Chris Bumstead, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Sam Selleck, who just competed in the Olympia. And
how did he go?
I don't know, actually. I saw a photo of him this year versus last year.
Sure.
Dude's he's jacked out of his brain.
It's crazy.
And probably will be the world's best bodybuilder at some point in his life. Sure. But, and I mean, sorry, for this era. Because Arnold always. But anyway, it doesn't matter. No, it was Chris Bumstead was like the same thing. He goes, it's actually quite simple.
Yeah, it's quite simple. It's just boring.
But it's having the discipline to do the boring stuff over and over and over and over again.
And rehab.
It's the same.
It's exactly the same.
But it's really, it's actually, but it is also, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier with regards to food, with you like knowing how your body is going to react to different
Certain
ways of
things,
eating,
Yeah.
your body will react. Like you'll do rehab and you'll wake up the next day and be like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm in so much pain. And that is not necessarily a bad thing.
Hmm.
It's just part of the process.
My knee is sore today because I did a whole bunch of targeted stuff on my leg that I
Yep.
needed to get done this morning.
Yep.
And it's all good. I know the soreness. I'm moving it around. I'm like, cool, it's okay. Means I'm targeting the right
Yeah.
things at the moment.
That's
and
it.
I've got to make sure that I keep doing those things.
But if you weren't aware of that, you might wake up and go,
Oh, I can't do that
oh,
anymore.
I can't do that. Oh, yeah, that was bad. That's bad pain because I'm now sore. Whereas, yeah, you know, you've got to go through, go through the fire,
Yeah,
so
that's
to
it.
speak.
But yeah, make sure you listen to your medical professionals, not us. We're not doctors.
Look, I would say, medically, you need to listen to not everyone but us.
Yeah, everyone but us.
Not everyone, but anyone with, medical qualifications.
yeah, yeah.
Well, not anyone, but
Yeah.
I don't want people to go,
Doctors are human.
hey, Cameron, I took your advice and I went and spoke to this dude who's an
Shaman.
optometrist or something.
my
and
my
my knee's
optometrist told me what I do for my leg. What the fuck is he optometrist for? Yeah.
Medical professional.
Yeah.
Anyway, but also,
All advice is general.
we need one of those warnings.
Disclaimer.
But also, I think there's a large case for, especially if you have any experience
Past
training.
performance is not an indicator of future performance.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You need to, still listen to your body. Don't be afraid. And again, we've spoken about this before. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing something in class and you're like, that doesn't feel good, it hurts somewhere. Hey, coach, my hamstring hurts when I do this movement.
Yeah.
And you could be like, because you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, is it?
Or
you might have a thing,
mate, no, that's
some stinging.
that's just sit off to the side. Don't do this.
Yeah.
If someone forces you to, I know people, are married to a person who was effectively made to do more reps by a coach who's like, nah, don't be a bitch. Well, not in those words, but don't be soft. Do it for your team, and
Let the
resulted
team
in a
down.
more long-term injury.
Yeah.
And that shit just doesn't fly. Is no good. Horrible coach. And so you need to have still a bit of that self-advocacy of, nah, something's not right. I'm just going to take a step back, and then work out what it is. But like you said, it's a little of both because you want to be engaged with the club. You don't want to, if you get injured, still be present because also that is going to drive your rehab more. You're going to want to get back on the mats. It's going to help you move towards that goal.
Yeah. That shit is hard, man. But it's hard. All I can say is stay the course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stay the course. Do the work. Listen to the medical professionals that are around you for it. Try less to listen to influencers about these sort of things. And I say because what happens is you jump on and you'll see 8,000 reels about how to rehab your knee properly and all those sort of things. And it's not that they're wrong, but you just, unless you understand where you're at with your leg or shoulder or finger or whatever you're doing, right? Sometimes you can just those sort of things can make that stuff worse
100%.
because you're just not ready to do the thing yet.
The amount of
it's hard.
And
It's
I think it does come down. A lot of that comes down to your personal experience. At this stage, having gone through as many rehab programs, and I'm really good at being able to distinguish information online. I can look at something and go, "That's influencer clickbait versus that."
Yeah.
But a lot of people, and especially if you're getting, once your algorithm logs onto you've looked up knee pain, you're getting everything.
Even this round with this leg, I got same whole bunch of knee stuff, whole bunch of influencers. Once you can do 10 reps of this, you can do 10 reps for your knee. Do this to help heal meniscus injuries and and specifically to the thing I had done. I took that information and I went to my exercise physiologist and went, hey, can I get your gauge on this, please?
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Because I was like, maybe this exercise will help me. And so I asked him, and he's like, yeah, look, this is fine, but you're not even remotely close to that yet.
Yeah.
You can't. If you did this now, you're going to put strain and load on your thing, on your particular injury that is actually going to set you back. And I was like, oh, really glad I asked the question because it was one of those things that I would have looked at and it looked super easy. And I, could do. But what we did a little test when we were there was hey, do this for me. And I went to do a thing. One of the things that happens, particularly with your body, when you're trying to lift and you're shaking, that's your nervous system that is overloaded, that is now going, warning signs.
Dial it back.
Now, whether you pull push through that fucking deadlift because it's your 1 rep max, but everything's healthy and you're okay, you'll be fine, right? But with like my knee, for example, I was doing some basic stretching, pulling stuff, right, with 0 weights, and this was a band exercise that I was asking him about, and he goes, do this. And I was doing this straightening thing under a bit of load stuff. And my knee, when I got to the back, it was just on the way back. And then it's like, and he goes, yeah, you're not going to be able to do 1 rep of that.
Yeah.
Because you're not ready to do that yet.
Yeah,
if you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to make shit worse. And I was like, sick, glad I asked the question, stop listening to influencers. Like, so that's what I mean. But it's so easy to fall in that rabbit hole.
It's also look.
Oh, but look, all these people are saying do this rehab. It's going to be.
And especially you get some person who's in incredible shape.
Yeah.
Who's on a beach in Spain somewhere
100%.
doing whatever exercise
on a rented boat with a rented Ferrari with a rented knee. Like
with a rented knee.
It just cuts to Sam Selleck's knee, not his. Like it's not. Yeah. You know,
it's like,
but that's what
do
I mean.
this exercise, and it's just this jacked quad, and then back.
And like we're in the same boat. Listen, like take anything that we say with a grain of salt, and do your own, like speak to the right people and do your own research and stuff. But we're just trying to.
I think that's probably the overarching message of this podcast is,
we're idiots. Don't listen to us.
That's the overarching message of every podcast.
Every episode.
We should have that warning at the front. We're idiots. Don't listen to us.
Don't listen to us.
Just do your own research.
Yeah, do your own research.
No, but it's also like
still true.
Same as we've said before. Ask questions, listen to your body, get like professional advice, but also do the work. There's no path that doesn't involve doing the work.
Yes, I know, darling. I will. I'm sorry. I will do more work. I'm in that space right now. I'm guilty of not doing enough work. I'm doing some work. I'm probably not doing enough, but I will.
But no, I'm the same.
We're all guilty.
There's things where I could do a lot more to, like I train a lot. I should say I train a lot.
Yeah. And
I could do a lot more to further the areas that I know are weak.
Yeah.
So I'll put my hand up.
Yeah.
And I will do that too.
We're guilty. That's probably a good spot to finish up.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again, guys. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
Let's go and do some rehab.
Let's do some rehab.